Thursday, 3:30. What's up? This is David Villa. You're listening to Auto Dealer Live. We got a great show in store for you guys today. I'm going to need you. Listen, I'm winging it by myself again today, and I'm cool with that, but I'm going to need you guys more than ever to help me out. So, listen, I need your questions. I need you to weigh in on Facebook, specifically on Facebook. If you're watching this, comment and make sure that if you have any questions for our guest that we're going to be bringing on in just a few minutes, come on, let's weigh in. Let's do it. I'm not sure, Mike, are we taking any calls today? Can't. All right. Mike just nodded his head no. Like, no, all confidence just flew out. You know what I mean? Like before,
I mean, they can ask in the comments. You can always ask in the comments.
Yeah, ask in the comments. Yeah, but you used to be able to take calls and stuff like that. Now, we've regressed, whatever you call it. All right. Okay. Hey, he heard what he said just now. You guys heard that in the echo to the studio. If you want to make calls, we'll make it happen. When I asked the first time, he was like, all right, so, hey, do me a favor and share the show today. And we're going to give away some stuff. I know that Pierre was back in our swag merch closet earlier or yesterday and said we had a lot of stuff back there. So I'm just going to put together this, Mike. Let's do this. You share the show today. We're going to do two things. I'm going to throw a little wrench in this, all right? Hey, make sure we send this out on social media. Drop it in the Auto Dealer Live group, Samuel, what I'm about to say, because I want you guys to share it. Here's what we're going to do. If you share the show today, right, we're going to draw 3 winners. The first winner that we draw is going to win $100. $100. All right, we're going to give $100 to somebody.
Me, I gotta go share the show real quick.
Yeah, okay. Give me a second. Employees exempt. You can share the show, but you're exempt of winning. But all right, so $100. We're going to give away $100 today. So someone share the show, like it, comment, and you're going to get drawn in. And we're going to announce that at the very, very end of the show. And then we're going to give away 2 merch bags with Auto Dealer Live stuff. I'm talking, we got some socks, we've got some T-shirts, we've got books, we've got all kinds of stuff. We're going to throw a complete merch pack together. It's not like one of those things. You're going to win a bundle of stuff. We're going to give 2 of those away to the other, 1 each to the other 2 individuals. So share the show. We're going to announce 3 winners at the end, and let's blow this thing up today because we have some great guests on today, and we have El Patron coming on here in just a couple of minutes. He's the partner and general manager at Sunrise Chevrolet in Forest Hills. We've been following him closely over the last, he's been on the show a bunch. We know who he is, but we've been following him here at the show closely, during the COVID and because of where he's located and coming out of this. Going to pick his brain a little bit, find out what he's doing. They're breaking records there, and we're going to talk to El Patron, and then we're going to bring on in our second segment. Right after that, we're going to bring on Justin Jarek. Justin, also no stranger to the show, general manager at Boniface Ayers Kia. Justin, killed it over there at their Buick GMC store. Became a GM in the last few months, and then bam, COVID hit. But the guy's breaking records, doing great things there. We're going to talk to him about some social media strategies. Some things that you can do that maybe you're not doing, some things that you could do that maybe you haven't even thought about yet that can help you move the needle on social media and sell cars. And then we're going to bring on our third segment, a good friend of mine here, he and his family own 4, if not 5 stores, own several Nissan stores. We're going to bring David Moss Jr. on. David Moss is just 30 years old, but he got into the car business at a very young age, and he's executive manager and VP at Moss Family Automotive. And we're going to talk to him about what he's doing and what he's seeing here as well. So we've got 3 outstanding guests that are going to be on with us over the next little while. But we want to talk to you guys just a couple minutes, just really about what, strategy, right? I want to talk to you about strategy here in the monologue before we bring them on. But before we do, again, if you're just tuning in, share the show. We're going to give $100 cash to someone who shares. We're going to announce that at the end and give away 2 merch bags. So give them 3 prizes away. Of course, $100 is the grand prize. If you haven't registered already, Digital Dealers coming up October 6th, 7th, and 8th. I'm going to have the honor to MC the conference this year. It's virtual. And listen, we've got some tickets to give away. We've been giving them away every week. You don't want to miss this. There's some outstanding workshops going on. They're going to do this thing right. It's Digital Dealer after all, right? They're going to do this thing virtually this year for the first time. And there's a lot of people that have registered already, a lot of talent, a lot of knowledge. And I believe that it's going to be a very big deal. So you're going to want to get in on this.
El Patron just shouted out. He texted us. He said, tell Dave he's going to double the $100.
Come on, man. There you go.
Shouts out to El Patron, dog. You're the man.
You guys heard that? He said he's going to double. So you share it. The winner of the $100 is going to get $200 is what I hear, right? That's pretty awesome. So we're going to give $100, and El Patron said he's going to double it. So, man, come on, share it today. and you get a chance to win some cash, some cake, and so don't want to miss Digital Dealer. The Digital Dealer is going to be off the chain. I'm going to be emceeing that. And then our show here, which we've got an outstanding show planned. We just released it a couple of days ago. Some great guests are going to be on with us for the day one, end of day keynote. So not only am I emceeing it, but we get the privilege to do the show as the afternoon keynote at the conference. And so it's going to be a really good time. You're not going to want to miss it. I can't wait to get back together with all of our automotive friends in person. Hopefully in the spring we'll be able to do that, but that's going to be cool. But until then, we can come together virtually, right? And we can do it. All right, so let's talk about strategy for the next couple of minutes, and then we're going to bring El Patron on in 3 minutes. So talking about strategy, you know, when I'm thinking of the word strategy, right, a lot of times people don't think of strategy until their back's against the wall. And that's unfortunate, right? And I've done that over the course of my career many and many times. I understand that because we just go sometimes and we don't think of strategy a lot of times until we have to. And that's unfortunate because when you have to think of strategy and your back's against the wall, you miss out on so many opportunities. But strategy is such an important part of what we do in the business world, right? In the automotive industry. What is your strategy moving forward? You need to put a strategy together now, not only for the last quarter of this year, but you need to be looking at the first quarter of next year. What are you going to do? How are you going to go into 2021? I look at it this way. I look at the fact that we are going to trampoline, right? We're going to utilize what we've learned in this season, and we're going to propel off of this season of COVID, off of this season of growth and transition, and we're going to bounce into 2021. What are you going to do in 2021? Strategy is a big deal, right? And so let's strategize. Get together with your team. One of the tips I want to give you guys before we bring our guest on, one of the tips I want to give you, if I can, is this: collaborate. You've got some really sharp people that are on your team. Think about this. Not only if they hung with you during the season, but if they excelled and they've done well during the season and they bought into the vision, then chances are they're on board at your store, right? They're on board with your company. And so bring those individuals into a room. I don't care if they've got the word leader in front of their name or not by position, but these are ambassadors for your organization, for your dealership. Bring these people into the room and find out some ideas. Pick their brain. I promise you, you're sitting on a wealth of ideas that you may not know about, and that is the way to strategize, all right? So listen, we're going to bring on, without further ado, are we going to break first? All right, quick break. All right, 60 seconds, and we're going to be back with El Patron. Don't go anywhere. Share the show. We're giving away $100, and El Patron said he's going to double it, and then we're going to give away 2 merch packs to the other 2 winners as well. I'm going to announce them at the end of the show. We'll be right back with our first segment. All right, we're back. It's 3:30. Actually, it's past 3:30. It's 3:40. And listen, I'm David Villo. You listen to Auto Dealer Live, and we've got no stranger to the automotive industry, the social media. He's in your timeline every day. He's in your feed. He's blowing it up. And I want to talk to him about what he's doing at Sunrise Chevy, at Forest Hills. We had the partner there, and of course, general manager El Patron. Listen, El Patron, I wanted to jump in, man. Thank you for being with us. I know you're busy, and you've got a month to close out. But man, looking at what you're doing there, I admire the heck out of it because you didn't, the moment the gates were open, so to speak, the moment that you were allowed to come back in and do what you do, you've done it, and you didn't miss a beat. I didn't hear you, get on the horn and talk about, obstacles and talk about why you couldn't. I immediately watched you implement reasons why you should. And so you've been an inspiration to people that are in other parts of the country that aren't experiencing and didn't experience the challenges that you did. So I want to start by just saying, man, where does that drive come from? I'm seeing you post a lot about your past, your family, where you came from. So I'm have a sneaky feeling that maybe you've been thinking a little bit about where you came from as compared to where you are. Is that what drives you?
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me on the show again. Guys, share the show. Don't be cheap. We send you $100. The drive comes when people just prove people wrong, right? And I'm tough on myself, but at the end of the day, it's like, what else can I do, man? Like, you know what I'm saying? So people say, no, this is it. You can't do it anymore. And, I had a strategy call with GM today, and their question is, did you know this was going to happen? How did you do it? How did you pull that off? 11 GMs the store went through, 17 service managers. They're like, how did you manage to do that? Did you know this was going to happen? I said, look, there was a strategy in place. Yes, right. But we weren't expecting COVID to hit. COVID hit, and I'm like, this is an opportunity, man. This is not the end of the world. This is an opportunity, and when recessions and things happen, a lot of people become very wealthy. The ones that have their mindset right and see an opportunity, right? When the bubble hits, and there was a lot of people that became millionaires in 08, and unfortunately I didn't have money in 08. I was broke. So I said, that's not going to happen again. So I saw the opportunity present itself, and I made the move in 19, but this was my moment, and it's just boom. I focus, and I kept going in and working. I'm still putting some crazy hours. I'm changing my schedule this month. Now I come in at 1 o'clock. I got a great team that supports me and kind of knows how we like things going. But we're crushing it right now. We use, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you guys are. And let me talk to you about this, because I know that with all three guests today, we went down some roads of some talking points and ended up just, let's free fall. Let's just talk, right? And I think that's the best way to do it when you got certain people on, and you're one of those. Listening to what you said, I love that. So 12 years ago, you're talking not that long ago, man. I mean, it really wasn't that long ago when we experienced, a major dip, in the economy crash. And, you said you couldn't take advantage of it then like you can now. You weren't able to. So somebody's listening right now, and that's a perfect example for them. You didn't, no one gave you that opportunity. You earned that opportunity. You worked and you busted it. And so someone that's listening right now, I think that what they could take away from what you are saying is the people who do, the people who figure things out, they get creative. I don't care if they don't own a store or if they're not a GM, they could be a salesperson right now or BDC or whatever it is. If they take control, right, over their own situation and work and become noticed, become somebody who's valuable and invaluable. Isn't that what it's all about? I mean, right now, this is the time to make yourself stand out, right? If you're looking at people in the automotive business, no matter where they are, right now, this is their chance to shine. Would you agree?
Yeah, it's the best time to be alive right now. The opportunities that are coming out are unbelievable. I can't, I'm working on so many things right now, and I got a phone call today and people are like, how do you get involved in so many things? You're doing leasing, used leasing, car shows, this and that. And, I say, why not, man? Like, most of the time people just don't believe they can do it because they don't even try. Half of them don't even try it. I can give them the recipe, and I post those videos every single day on how to do things, right? And they still wonder how, and I'm telling them how I'm doing it. You know what I'm saying? I'm giving you the value. I'm giving you those little gold nuggets. But the action part, no one really have it. I really don't like getting up 5 a.m, David, but I'm up. I got to do my incantation. I got to do my reading, my praying. You know what I'm saying? Go to the gym. Whatever I got to do to get going, that's my secret sauce, man. And you know what I'm saying? I'm doing it every single day. Whether COVID or not COVID, it doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
If you have it right, you can put your mind to do whatever the hell you want, man.
Mm-hmm.
And I left Brooklyn. I was like, you know what? I'm going to do better and 10x my life on everything. Not just income, relationship, my kids, everything. Because I want freedom, right? We all want freedom, So I did it, man. And I'm living proof. So I'm not bragging and showing all these cars and all these things. I'm just showing to people, say, look, you can do better, right? Believe in yourself and just do it, man. Like, who else is going to believe it? If you don't believe it, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, I love that. And, Yeah, and I'm looking at, thinking about that, and if no one's going to do it for you, I've often said, like, no one's going to come to your house, unlock your door, get you out of bed, brush your teeth for you, right? Put you in a car and drive you to work. I mean, you got to do it yourself. But there's something about that. People ask me the same thing sometimes. They view it as, eventually you have to have a team, and people to help out. Of course, we have a team here. Obviously, we're not sitting around all day, doing everything that gets done, in within social media and things of that nature. But one of the things that people don't understand, and it really has nothing to do with personality, and I know it seems that way, but when I am motivating somebody, a lot of times, Patron, I'm looking in the mirror, so to speak, and the first person it affects in a positive way is me. It's one of the ways, it's very similar to when I meet with a team of 5, 10, 15, 20 people here, and I pour into them. It fires me up just like it fires them up. Because here's the reality is, man, we're human. And, there's times you don't feel like doing it. And you got to, and so a lot of times I don't look for, motivation outside of to someone else. I'm going, hey, David, let's get motivated here. Let's, this is why you got to do it. And I'm going down the list of its and whys. But when I'm pouring into somebody or doing a video, it fires me up and gets my mind right. Do you find that does that for you as well?
A lot. Most people think I do it for them, but it's really for myself, to be honest with you. It gets me going. I posted something the other day. I said, you're either creating content or you're consuming content, and a lot of people call me on that. It's like, you're so right. Most of us, we're consuming content. You're creating it. I said, look, it works for me, man. You can't knock your hustle. I said, it works. Everybody has their own thing, right? That works for them. So, it works for you. Keep doing it, right? This works for me. This is how I survive and I provide for my family. And there's a lot of people that private message me, say, hey, keep doing what you're doing. You're motivating me to go to the gym, or you're motivated to do this, whatever it is. Those support group that I do on Thursdays. We're up to like 50 people on Zoom calls now, and they get a lot of it, and I get a lot from them. I feed off for that positive energy as well, and right. I think most people are just very negative, and they rather hate than just support. You know what I'm saying? I just sent my guy in Miami a check for $15,000 that he invested in my brand, not too long ago, because he's a big supporter, and now it's like, dude, like it paid off, right? So that's what it is. At the end of the day, is collaborate. You say collaborate. We can never do it alone.
That's right.
Right? Learn that is that when you collaborate with people, right, the opportunities are so big, because you got their connections and your connection, and just everything together just blows up.
Yeah.
And most people are focused on what the other person is doing instead of collaborating. Hey, let's do this together. You know what I'm saying? I'm putting this car show together. It's gonna be over 100 cars, and it's gonna be the biggest in New York. And they're like, how are you gonna do it? I'm like, I'm doing it.
Mm-hmm. And what I love about it too, and this is you guys are just joining us. It's just me and El Patron here talking for the first segment, and we're just talking about what it means to be successful, what it takes to go the extra mile, right? And how those are connected. And when you're talking to somebody, when you do these videos or when you do something, right? Really, you're doing it whether the camera's on you or not. And that's what people don't understand. When I get messages, my social media team all the time, and people want to know, because and I get it, they want to get there. Or when they meet me or say something to me in person, hey, what are you doing? How are you doing this? Why are you successful in this area? Let me talk to you about that. And it's you wish sometimes you had like more answers, but the reality is, you just don't stop. And I don't know how you feel about that, but you don't stop. And here's the thing I think that somebody can't understand. When the camera's on you, I've learned that if I'm going to not stop, let's just put the camera on me while I'm not stopping. You know what I'm saying? In other words, it's, what I'm saying? You're just filming your own reality show, and it's what you do every day. The camera's on you. And I think that, that's the best way, not only, again, to motivate you, but, you're going to get the best of individuals like yourself when you're just watching you do your thing. What do you think about that? I mean, people ask you all the time. I mean, really, it's just not stopping. How important do you feel just not quitting, never giving up is?
There's time that I don't want to do a video, believe it or not. Mm-hmm. There's time that I'm flipping the phone and doing a video. But you know what? It's important to stay consistent. I think that most people give up very easily, because maybe they don't see any traction on it, or they don't get any whatever, anything out of it. But sometimes it's not about that. It's about doing it for that one guy that's listening to you, doing it for that one person that says, yo, man, keep doing those videos. You know, I keep looking up to you, and I see everything that you're doing, and you just make me go harder and harder. You know, why not? You know, because they follow, right? They follow the entire, you know, from before and what the transition is. Is he really gonna do it this time? What has he got to prove? You know, there was a Mitsubishi thing. Now it's Chevy, so I don't know if he can really do it.
Right.
Can he really get it off? And now they're like, how'd you did it, right? All of a sudden, you know, we're breaking records and we're making all this money, and we're sharing it because, oh my guys, right? It's the same way. Look, if it's moving, if it's motivating you and moving you forward, it's because you're doing something good. And what I took these kids is that I helped them see the vision, say, look, you can get to this level. Just follow my lead and do what I say as I do, and you see. And through those videos, believe it or not, I communicate with them because in the morning, it's the first thing they see, right? I either shot them out. I said what they did the day before. I said what we got going on today. So they already know what kind of mood I'm in. That energy, that positive comes in. I come in, hey, what's up? You already know what game plan. Let's have our meeting. Let's have a killer day today. You know, so and that's how I care with my team as well.
Yeah, and you know, let me ask you about that in a couple more questions here. You know, and I appreciate you hanging out with us. But I mean, speaking of team, you know, I've never been to your store, but you know, just looking, you know, and watching and catching what I can catch. You know, I see that you seem like that you like the underdog. You know, you kind of pull for the one who, you know, might not have been voted, you know, the most likely to make it. You know, in other words, you pull for the underdog and you see the diamond, you know, in the rough, you know, the diamond in the coal. Is there something to that? Is that turn you on a little bit to see, you know, somebody else discounted this person, but I see potential? I mean, talk about that.
Because I see myself in them. I relate to them, and I'm the underdog. I always feel like I've always been the underdog. You know what I'm saying? So if I see that in them, I know that I can get the best out of them because I lived through it. And I show them everything that I lived through it, where I am, where I'm heading. Right. And this is just the beginning. I'm just getting started. And I said, look, follow me, get your mindset right. The positive videos, I send them in the morning on the group chat. Right. Sometimes they come say, hey, how'd you know I needed that video? I said, I didn't know you needed that video. I just shared it because I liked it when I was working out. And every time you listen to those videos, it could be the same video, David. You know that, but you always get something different out of the video. Right. Whether it's the exact same one, you always get something else out of it. So I keep sharing those videos for them, because I want them to get that they can have whatever they want if they put their mind to it. You know, so there's a couple of things that we need to address and things like that, right? But overall, they're all on the same page, and you know, they're all doing great. So yeah, that's what it's about.
I love it. And you know what? You it's amazing. I'm sure you know this, obviously, but you know, when you pour into people like that too, and they begin to make it and they begin to believe, just like you didn't, and you're not forgetting where you came from, they won't either, you know, and that's, it's paying it forward, because, you know, that to me, those are the individuals that are the most grateful, because they're willing to work for it. You know, we live in a, you know, I know you came from, you know, somewhere else here, you know, and appreciated that opportunity that you've worked for. But sometimes we're so entitled, you know, here in the States, in America, you know, we think that it's owed to us or whatever it is. But I'm going to tell you, man, there's something about that your story and what you're talking about. You know, I can relate to that. You know, my grandfather was born in Cuba, came over, you know, in other words, there's just something about working for it, busting it, right, and then seeing it that makes you never forget and how grateful you are, you know, and people are turned on by that, because I'm telling you, man, you know, those lives turned around. Those are the ones that are going to work the hardest for you. Those are the ones that are going to go to bat for the vision, right? And that's what I see them doing. So do this, man. You know, if you just give us, you know, speak to that somebody out there that, you know, that maybe get ready to give up. You know, they've had a tough time during this last few months. You know, yeah, they see it kind of wrapping up, but man, they just aren't breaking through. If that person's listening right now, maybe just give them a reason why they shouldn't quit. You know, and make that your closing comment, if you would.
I would say this, right? Forgive yourself, because most people don't forgive themselves. And the thing that you think is the worst thing in your life that's happening right now in your life, it could be the best thing that could bring you so many opportunities, right? And you can change so many people's lives by talking about it. Most of us wants to hide, and we all have skeletons, don't get me wrong, right? But we like to hide everything because we don't like to share those stuff, right? I was an alcoholic, I was arrested, I'm a convicted felon, right? I just came out of parole after 10 years, and everybody's like, I never knew you were on parole. I said, I know. You didn't know the probations that I had to go through and the shit that I had to go through just to travel, just to go to an airport, and all these things. I couldn't even go to Jersey, right? But I learned discipline through that. A lot of discipline. That's why I learned discipline, because I had to, right? So I want to share that so people understand that whatever you're going through right now, there's a reason why you're going through it, right? Something good is always going to come out. I always say that out of something bad, always good comes out of it. So just talk about it, share it, and inspire other people that you are normal and you are real. You're going through that stuff. I struggle every single day, man. I struggle every single day. But you know what? Every day I pray to God that he gave me another day, and I'm going to be positive and inspire other people by my story. I used to drink. I used to be a drunk, and I'm not going to stop sharing that stuff, because there is people that can always be reminded of it, or there's new people that never knew about that stuff, and they just maybe tune in to see me, and they get inspired by that, and they call me. I make a connection, and I help them out to whatever they need. Whether they want to talk, I'm there, man. I'm there, whatever time it is.
Strong. All right, man. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. El Patron, partner GM at Sunrise Chevy at Forest Hills. Crushing it. If you're not following him, make sure you do. Also, check him out on LinkedIn. He does a lot on LinkedIn, a lot of activity, man. Thank you so much, El Patron, for coming on today, man. And I think that's the best story you can share, man. You know, I believe there's some people that are inspired and going to be inspired as they listen to this throughout the week.
Thank you. I hope so. Thank you, man. I appreciate it, right?
Appreciate you, brother. Thank you.
Have a killer weekend.
You too. Well, you heard it there, and let me tell you something. You know, somebody would say, what's that have to do with the car business? What I thought listen, I'm going to tell you something, man. This has more to do with any business, especially the car business, than you could ever imagine, because this is a tough industry, and there are some diamonds listening right now. There are some people right now, and just because you're wrapped up in coal and no one has seen the potential in you, there are people like myself, like El Patron, like the next two guests that are coming on, that can see that in you. And
David Moss is next.
David Moss is next. Okay, so we're going to roll around and flip them. All right, so
Justin's actually finishing up a deal. He just texted me. He's wrapping it up now. So I text David if he could jump on a little early.
Okay, so just give me a thumbs up when we're ready.
We're ready.
All right, and so before we bring Mr. David Moss Jr. on, make sure you share the show today. You can still get in on it. Here's what we're doing if you just tuned in. We're giving away $100 here at Auto Dealer Live for someone to share the show. We're going to pick a winner, and then that person that wins the $100, El Patron, messaged in earlier and said he's going to double that. So you're going to get 100 from us and 100 from him. He's going to double that. And then we are also going to give away 2 more gifts to 2 more winners. We're going to give away 2 merch packs with Auto Dealer Live gear in them. And so those are cool as well. You're going to want to share the show, and we're going to announce those winners. So somebody's going to win $200.
Yeah, buddy.
At the end of the show. And then
it will not be me.
And it will not be any of our employees. No.
Ezra's shaking his head. He's had.
Ez is like, I got another Facebook account. I'm just kidding. All right. So here we go, guys. Without further ado, let's bring on the executive manager, vice president of the Moss Family Automotive Group. This guy's got, they're just buying stores, man. Incredible car family, has a lot of experience, got into this industry at a very, very young age. And Mr. David Moss Jr., thank you, sir, for hanging out with us today. I appreciate you jumping on. How you doing?
Great, bro. How you doing today, man?
Man, I'm doing awesome, brother. I'm doing awesome. I love the signs, man. Come on now, grit.
Oh, can you see me?
I can see you. Yes, sir. Remember why you started Limitless. I love that, man. You know what? I'm going to just dive in here and kind of pick up in a way where we left off with El Patron a little bit, only because I know you. I know what your belief system is. I know how you care about people and what you do. And what we talked about, and I just want to, I want to talk about people. I want to talk about our people. I want to talk about, leadership from the ground up, from the the way you do it. Getting your hands dirty, getting in, leading by example. Just seeing the best in somebody, finding somebody, David, that everyone else discounted, that was voted least likely to make it, and finding that diamond in the rough. So that's what we kind of been talking about. We weren't planning on that, but when it comes to that, man, what's your thoughts on the human capital, the people inside of our dealerships?
Well, this is perfect. That's what it's all about, man. I mean, honestly, I think what a lot of people get twisted, especially when they become a manager of any kind of company, especially the car business, is they think that when they become a manager, become a quote unquote leader, it's like their excuse to abuse people, right? It's like, I remember being young, and I never grew up around this because my dad was always the leader at the stores when I was growing up. So I got to see, people getting messed with a little bit, but it was always love. But I would go to other dealerships to do dealer trades, and I would always see it was like a different vibe. And I'm not calling anyone out, but like, think about this. Have you ever had a manager of a company tell you, hey, go wash my car. Hey, go pick me up lunch. Hey, go do this. Hey, I need you to do that. It's almost like you become a manager and you think that entitles you as a leader to start abusing people and using them to handle your work and do the things for you. When in reality, it's almost like you're put on this pedestal more as an opportunity to serve so many more people. You see, when you're starting out in the car business and in the automotive industry, you're typically going to start out either as a salesperson, as a lot porter, as a detailer, as a lube tech. And in so many stores around the country, from what I hear, I haven't gotten to experience a lot of it, but from what I hear, they're treated as like the peons of the store. They're treated as like the servants of the store. They go and handle all the grunt work for everybody else. And truly, that's not how it should be.
Right.
Truly, when you're a leader, you should serve your team. And then when you serve your team, you actually become a real leader, because you have people who want to follow you because they respect you and they love you and they feel the same respect and love back from you.
Something that's funny, because the way you just said it in your last part of your last sentence there, and I was gonna ask you this and bring it up. There's something for people wanting to do or wanting to work for you rather than having to, right? I mean, like you say, somebody that gets up and go, and I know we say this maybe not always in the wrong way, but even the way we say, well, I have to go to work, or, I got to go to work today, rather than I get to, or, hey man, listen, I'm working today. It's the difference in somebody wanting to do something and having to do something. It really, that's what I kind of got out of what you said. I mean, you get so much more out of somebody when they feel appreciated, The truth. And they feel like their ideas matter. Let me ask you this. I mean, kind of staying along that line. Obviously, there's only, there's only one, head, so to speak, as a leader. There's only one decision maker when it comes down to like who, where does the buck stop or the responsibility stop, on something major. But when it comes to ideas and when it comes to everybody getting a seat at the table on that, how big are you on collaboration, on letting people, really bring ideas to the table, and, how big are you on that? And then have you had a really good idea come out of a team member that is like a game changer for your stores?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's funny you said it. I thought this call was at 4:05, but then I saw Justin's post about 3:30. So I was like, guys, I got to get off this call. I've had probably the most productive day I've had in at least 24 hours. I mean, we got off, I know it's silly. We got off one of the best conference calls, and Zoom has made it so easy because I, like probably most people in my position, I operate multiple locations. So I can't be at every location at once. But Zoom and FaceTime, they've really given us the opportunity to have those face-to-face real conversations with people from afar. I mean, we got so much done today. I believe it's extremely important to let everybody speak. And right now we've got a really cool thing going on in our company where we have each of our GM and trainings, our GSMs, and our finance directors, and we're going to do it with more of our employees. They have to shadow everybody who's a part of their job. So if you're a finance manager, you have to shadow the tag and title office, and you have to be able to do that job. You have to go and sit in those shoes and learn the frustrations of that job. And it's been really cool because it's opened the eyes of everybody. Because when you're a finance manager, you're just thinking about how can I bump the next customer, make the most money on this deal, get it funded as quick as possible. But you don't think about if I quickly write this VIN number down and someone can't read it, what kind of frustrations the next person's job is. So we've been doing a lot of really neat deep diving and communication just to take our company to the next level. And it's been a true game changer for us. It's already been producing some massive results. So I think it's extremely important to listen to everybody. It doesn't mean you have to change and make everybody happy.
Right.
But some really good ideas can come from really anybody.
I love that. So, and let me get this right. So, I mean, I love that. I might steal that here because I think I think the reason, you said it, but I want to double down on it and make sure I heard it right. The reason is not so much that this person might have to fill the shoes and do it if that person's out. I know that's a byproduct of it, but it sounds like putting them in the shoes so they know what type of responsibility and what type of what responsibility this person has, what this person's job entails, so they can respect them more and support them more. Is that kind of more what it's about?
Oh yeah, and how much more efficient can we make the entire process by knowing and kind of seeing, like, all right, after I package this deal and it goes into accounting, I don't have to look at it ever again until it comes back to me as an issue. No, I need to, if I know what is going to happen next and who's going to see that deal and what they need to see in that deal, it makes it make more sense. We started doing that with our sales team about 2 years ago, where we'd have every sales pro, when they start, we'd have them shadow the finance manager through the entire deal to follow that deal all the way through. But it stopped at accounting, and I never really thought to move it forward into accounting.
Right. And
that has been a game changer for us, you know. And for me, I mean, I'm extremely accessible. Everyone says they have an open door policy. I have like a no door policy. I'm usually in the sales tower or the showroom or on the lot or in the service drive. And I try to be accessible to all my employees. But I recently just did something pretty neat where, you know, if you heard of WhatsApp, everybody uses WhatsApp. We have you know, I kind of take some information. I kind of take some of the devotions that you send sometimes to me, Dave, and share it with. We've got about 200 of our employees on a WhatsApp group, and I share morning motivation to anybody who chooses to be on that. And it's just been cool to see the feedback of our employees. Even like I said, even some of our lot porters are on that, and they're just like, man, this has changed the way I look at my day. And at the end of the day, if we can tee our teams up, if we can tee the people that look up to us up or work for us or whatever it may be, up to just start their day off a little bit better, it changes the whole course of the day for them and for us.
It does, man. You know, I love that. And, you know, and one more question here, really just finalizing this whole thought, because this is awesome stuff. So, you know, I'm hearing what you're saying, and, you know, I love the fact that you said I have a no door policy. And it's not that you don't need to be, you know, by yourself sometime, or you don't need to, you know, handle things, but I like that. And, you know, I don't subscribe, David, to the phrase that, you know, we've all heard for so long. You know, I don't know who said it, you know, decades ago, but somebody said familiarity breeds contempt, you know, and I get that, but I don't agree with that. If you are an effective leader, you know, I think the only way familiarity can breed contempt is if you set yourself up on a pedestal that's unrealistic, which is which is reserved for God, you know. And secondly, if you don't have any integrity, maybe you're just not who you are behind the scenes, in front of the scenes. And so I think that if you are a servant leader, which is who you are, you know, there's really no ability for, you know, familiarity to breed contempt. It's really that familiarity is going to allow people to, you know, to learn from you and be around you. Again, there's times when you got to be by yourself and handle things, but you're spending such a great amount of your time, from what I hear, is being transparent and being available so people around you can learn from you. I mean, that's the model, you know, of Christ. That's the model of, you know, of a servant leader. And I love that. I mean, so what's your thoughts on that in closing?
What's so cool is not only can they learn from me by being out there, but I can learn from them. I mean, like, things are changing, right? I mean, what I did when I first started in the car business 16 years ago, what I saw, what I was exposed to, the inventory, the technology, the tools, it's changed, and it changes every single day. And now that I'm in a different position as vice president, I'm not having to pinstripe cars anymore every single day as my duty. I'm not having to use the new chemicals to wash cars. I'm not having to do the new steps and processes because of COVID. And as a valet or as a sales professional, it's all so new. So when you put yourself out there, you can learn so much about your actual business by being out there on the floor, talking to your people, talking to your customers. And it's really, really cool. And in closing, I always think of this, and I know you're a believer, so I can say this, but if Jesus Christ as the Son of God could come down and wash his disciples' dirty feet, and you know they ain't wearing Allbirds shoes and Cole Haans, right?
Yeah.
If he could come down and wash their feet, why can't we wash our teams?
Come on, man.
And if we can't wash our team's feet, then why would they ever follow us? There's a reason that there's dealerships around that have so much turnover. There's a reason that you have to have your employees, even your valets, sign a non-compete. I'm sorry if you're feeling some passion here, but like, we're one of the only dealerships in our entire area that doesn't have our employees sign a non-compete. If you don't want to work for me, I want you to continue your career, and I want you to do the best you can possibly do, even if it's not with me. I don't think I should make somebody sign a non-compete if they don't want to work for me. I want people to want to work for me, and I'm willing to do whatever it takes to earn that from them every single day.
Man, David, that's awesome, brother. I love it. I love talking to you, and because it is iron sharpening iron. I have such I agree with you on so much when it comes to the things you say and what you implement. So, man, I just appreciate you coming on and hanging out with us and sharing with the audience. I know that there's people that are, if they're not, right, they're missing an opportunity, writing some notes down. I love what you just said. Not only are they learning from you, but you're learning from them. And you know what is so true, brother? Dude, I hope you keep killing it. I hope you guys buy every store in town. I love it.
Me
and
too.
So, hey, man, I appreciate it, man. I hope you guys close this month
Appreciate
strong,
you, bro.
man. All right. Love you, brother.
Love you too, bro.
David Moss Jr., man, I'll tell you what, if you didn't catch that, I want to stop and rewind that for a second while we're getting ready to bring Justin on to close the show out. David said that he learns as much from them as hanging out and being around his people as they do from him. And let me tell you something, that's leadership. That's leadership. The day that we think that we know it all, right? Come on, that's the day that we're in trouble. We're actually probably already beyond trouble. And so with that right now, I want to bring on, a general manager that is white hot right now, right? This guy's blowing up. He's killing it right now, breaking records, taking names. And I want to talk to Justin Jarek a little bit. Justin, man, you're inspiring, brother. I know that you appreciate you coming on, and I know you just had to handle some duty there. I guess that was not a good thing to say. You had to handle your duties there. Just stay away from that word, right?
We're super busy.
You're super busy. There you go.
We're crazy busy.
Crazy busy. So let me ask you this, man. When it comes to, I want to wrap this up with talking to you about social media, with what dealers are missing. Because look, there's just so much opportunity, man, for if you do it right. And I've actually heard dealers, Justin, say this. Mm-hmm. I don't have time for social media. So and I get what they're trying to say, but they don't get what you're doing. They don't understand what we're talking about. You're not making a TikTok dance or whatever it is. You're talking about utilizing tools to bring in business and to bring exposure to yourself, to your dealership. So talk about that, man. Talk about the power of social media in the car business, doing business, wrapping up 2020, but going into 2021, and how important it is.
Absolutely, man. And most importantly, thank you guys so much for having me on.
Yeah.
Social media today is crazy. I mean, if you're not on social media and if you're not using it, I always say to the sales guys that we have working for us is, you have to use social media. And it sounds crazy to say it like this, but as like a secondary CRM. I mean, you should be adding all your customers on there. You should be always posting pictures. And it's not always about just, about selling cars. It's about all the other stuff that makes you normal, just like the rest of everyone.
Mm-hmm.
People find common ground, and the more exposure you can have, the better in every situation. You know what I mean? And if you're not using social media as a platform all day, every day, I mean, just look at you. You're posting all day. I love it. I mean, you're always in front of everyone's face. It's crazy. You think about marketing. You think about a training platform. You think of freaking David Villa, and that's what you have to do with social media. We all have a guy. I always say this, right? We all have a guy that does one thing, whether it's a painter or a mechanic or whatever the heck it is. Mm-hmm. Your job is you have to be the freaking guy that does the car stuff, and you have to be all over social media because that's what people are using right now. It's so unbelievably powerful.
I love it. And and that's the thing right there. So, and I appreciate your kind words too, man, because I mean, we run into each other all day long, and somebody would say this, and people know this, but somebody would say, I got to work. Well, listen, when you get to a place where there's a lot of social media posts, we have social media teams here, we approve content and we bring the messaging, but the legwork is done by people that are way smarter than I am, but here's the thing, Justin, I love, you just said, and I want people to understand this. It's a tool to sell cars. We're talking to the auto business here. So, and I know that sounds crass, like, it kind of like dehumanizes it. So let's put it back into humans. That's where people are, man. And it's like, listen, that doesn't mean getting on the social media and just like billboarding somebody, right? That's not what you're doing. But it's utilizing a place where human beings that drive cars are. And, and so you do it so great. Your team does it so well. You just showcase who you are and what you're doing. And I love it. And so I'm thinking this, and is this one of your philosophies then? So the way you use social media, are you telling your team, hey, when somebody needs a car, when somebody wants a vehicle, I want them to think of Justin and Justin's team. Is that what you? Is that what you do?
100%. Yeah, here, I mean, we're not looking to compete. We don't want to just be in front of everyone. We want to dominate. We want to be in front of every single person possible. And we do that by having everyone committed. You know, social media is so powerful, but the thing is if you don't have everyone on board, if everyone's not 100%, this is the way to go. I mean, you're gonna find kinks in the or you're gonna find missing gears, right? Now, if you don't have people at the top, your manager's following aboard. I mean, you follow me, I'm a GM. I post videos all day. I post pictures of cars. I post pictures of trades. I post pictures of everything I can. So what I preach, I also do, and I think that's so important with anything we do on social media. You know, if you're gonna expect someone to do it, you have to do it yourself. I mean, that's a must.
Absolutely. And, you know, it's, and I think that, you know, it's important, Justin, and you know, you get it no matter what you're doing. I mean, just like you wouldn't walk up to somebody in person, right, and just start, you know, shouting like, man, come on, push, pull it in, drag it in, you know, I'll give you, you know, you wouldn't do that in front of them. You have tact, right? You talk to them, and you know, that's what people don't understand. You know, social media is taking your personality and your human skills, you know, and it's transporting them into a platform where you can, you know, get in front of people and utilize video, utilize, you know, words. Absolutely. And, you know, you do such a good job of that. And I think people sometimes don't understand it. So they shy away from it, but they don't realize, you know, that it's such a major platform. You know, when you have someone, let me ask you this, when you have somebody come on, I mean, how do you implement that into your training? Like if you have new hires, say you have a room full of, you know, green peas that you're bringing on, you know, maybe even if they've had experience in the car business, but they've never had experience the way you do it, you know, when you get to the social media portion of that, you know, what do you say to them, you know, when you're to explain that, if you can kind of let us be a fly on the wall?
Absolutely. So one of the things that is extremely important is, and before I interview anyone, I mean, I look on their social media. I mean, I don't know. I'd like to think that most people do that, you know, see what kind of things they're up to. I mean, I don't know if that's good or not, but, you know, you look in the pictures, see what kind of person they may appear as if they are, you know, and if they're professional, or if they are maybe getting into things that you may not want to be involved in or not. But, oh, sorry about that.
We can hear you. We can. Yeah.
Okay.
It went away. The video went away for a second. I can hear you. You're back.
Yeah. But social media, I mean, it's unbelievably. I mean, and like I told you, everyone has to stay committed, and everyone would have to be committed. It's so funny because we just hired about 8 new guys, all like around that 20 to 23-year age, and they're all posting all day. And I'm like, listen, guys, you have to decide whether this is a job or a career. And if you want to treat this as a career, Facebook gives you 5,000 people to be in front of on a daily basis. Not only that, but all the groups that are also in your county and your wherever the heck the case is. Yep. I mean, the potential that social media has is, I mean, endless. I mean, and for someone to say they don't have time is like saying, you know, I have too much money. I mean, I mean, it's crazy. Right.
It is. And, you know, and I love that. It allows you, if you can get it right, it allows you to be yourself, right? And to take something that you're passionate about. And here's the thing too, man, you know, you know, I know you know this and I'm preaching to the choir, but I'm kind of having this dialogue with you so that you and I can, you know, maybe people that are listening can hear us to rap about it a little bit and kind of get, you know, the feel. Absolutely. But I mean, you know, you've got to have tact. You've got to have the ability to you know to put this information out there in the right way. But if you can, you know, think about this. The car business it still does, no matter what. I mean, you know, there's people like you, and there's a lot of people in this that come on our show that are making differences and trying to turn the Titanic of the car business. But the vast majority of the car business still puts out a stigma that, you know, that customers don't like to have that experience, you know, because not all of them go to stores in areas like you and like yours. But we have the opportunity, if we're at a store like you know, to change that narrative, because if they see, you know, post things that are fun, humorous, relational things like that from a car person, a professional in the car business, then it begins to shift the narrative, and all of a sudden, it changes the narrative. So it makes you stand out no matter what, because they want that experience versus the experience they're used to. So not only is it's a must, man, but what do you think about that and changing the narrative of the car business by using social media?
Oh yeah, without a doubt. And I posted about it just a couple days ago. We had a customer that came in, and as a GM, the best thing in the world that you can get is someone that takes a survey and actually uses it to its the comments. And one of the comments is the family was shopping around all day, and she got to our dealership and noticed how everyone was so friendly and how it was so energetic here, and people, she's noticed that everyone was helping each other. Mm-hmm. There is nothing in the world that is more of a compliment, is knowing that people see that we create a great culture, we create a great atmosphere, and that's so powerful. And not only that, but it on social media is using it, because it's one thing to do it while you're in these four walls, but so people can see it on social media and everywhere else is just as important. We have guys that are posting videos of confetti cannons that are shooting them off, and everything's video, ringing a bell, and it's all video, along with pictures, but it creates a difference. It's funny because I get people that come in from banks or wherever the case is and say, "Oh man, hey, I saw you shooting that confetti cannon." So people I know are watching. You know what I mean? When you do those little things and people acknowledge it, and those are just a small fraction of people that are actually saying it. Just imagine all the people that are looking at it that haven't said something. Yeah. Exactly. So it's powerful stuff.
Well, man, guys, you heard it right here from Justin Jarek. He's changing the perception of the car business one video at a time. How about that?
And one thing too, and this is crazy to me, right? So a lot of the guys, they may say, hey, listen, well, I got some older guys, right? Mm-hmm. I got some older guys, and they're not on social media. Listen, I completely understand. I do too. However, they are committed. They know the process, and they send me pictures every single time. Every time they sell a car, they send me a picture. They don't have social media, but they're committed. It's our expectations, it's our standards, and they're doing it every single time. And these guys are 50, 60 years old. There's no reason why that everyone can't be held to the same standards as everyone else with social media. So that's important.
Man, Justin, thank you so much, brother. I know you're extremely busy, brother, and hope you guys close strong. I know you will. Oh, yeah. Thank you for stopping by, man, and always bringing it. Thank you, guys. And I appreciate you, brother.
All right. Thank you guys so much.
Justin Jarek, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so that wraps up the guest part of the show. So let's give away this money and these merch bags. And so what if we do this first? Let's give away. What do you want to give away first, Mike?
Ezra, you pick.
Merch bag.
Let's give away that guap, bro. Let's give away that money.
Y'all got to start using some words that I understand.
Sorry, my bad. I realized that I'm one of the youngest in the room. So
y'all might know this, but Pierre was sending. I'm speaking at a Think That Big conference in October. And it's pretty cool. They got 500, 600 entrepreneurs, and they sent over the imagery. And my brand guy here, you guys laughed at me. I heard you laugh at me today when he sent over and said, "Okay, Dave, I'm going to take out the
BG."
The BG. I couldn't even get it right. And I'm like, "Dude, what's BG?" He's like, "Background." I was like, "Oh, okay."
Background, Dave. Yes, sir.
Is that something I'm supposed to know? BG. I'm like, I have BG in my picture. What's a BG?
It's so common for us to talk about it.
That's what I'm saying. I told Pierre, I was like, you're just using marketing lingo, dude. That's just how it is.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. All right. So then, whatever you just said, guac. I thought guac. You made me
with
guap.
a P.
Okay, guac. I thought you said guac, man. I wanted some Mexican food. I wanted some guacamole.
Guapo.
I thought you said guac.
TikTok. Take that language elsewhere.
First of all, I've never seen TikTok in my life unless it's come up on other social media. So.
All right,
let's give away some money. How about that? Let's give away. So here's what we're going to give away. If you shared the show, you already have the winners picked, Mike, or what?
I've got them right in front of me.
All right, so here's what we're doing. If you weren't listening, I apologize if you missed out on sharing the show, liking it, or commenting it. But if you did, your name was in the hat, and we are giving $100 away. And then El Patron messaged Mike in the beginning of the show in my monologue when I was announcing it and said he wants to double that. So $200 is coming to the person whose name we announce right now. And
Laura Saba Berman.
Laura Saba Berman. Laura, you win $200. Woo!
Hey, let's go.
Boom. Post that in the comments there and just tag her. She's in there somewhere. There she is. She just said, "Hey, Jeff Baker," 1 minute ago. So Laura, you just won $200. Come on now. Hey, everybody likes $200.
I was disqualified before it was even
I
announced.
love $200,
so-
Dave. I'm just letting you know.
All right, so listen, we're going to give away. Now I know this might seem like a letdown, but I promise you these merch packs are good. All right, to me they're worth more than $200, but maybe not to you. So we're going to give away 2 of these. So we're going to give away an Auto Dealer Live, David Villa books, kind of things like that. We're going to give away a merch pack. These aren't just 1 or 2 things. We're going to give away a merch pack. So we're going to send these to you. We ask that you post it and tag us when you get them. Right. So let's talk about the. You're welcome, Laura. And look at Douglas, man. Douglas is like if you guys, I don't know if Douglas's name. I'm sorry to get you excited, Douglas. You may not have won. I don't have no idea. But I just see your comment that said congratulations. This guy's like a lucky magnet charm of winning stuff back in the day. So, Mike, first winner of the merch pack is
Jason Perriman.
Jason Perriman. Perriman?
Pearman.
Jason Perriman. Jason Perriman, you win merch pack number 1. Congratulations. Boom, Jason. All right. And final merch pack number 2. Deuce.
Jenna Dollinger Smith.
Jenna Dondra
Dollinger.
Smith. Dollinger Smith. All right, we're going to make sure. Congratulations, Jenna. And guys, we just gave it away. We're going to give away $100 again next week. Every week for the next 4 weeks. All right, we're going to give away $100. That's what we're going to do, Mike. So just remind me next week. And guys, awesome show. Don't forget Digital Dealer. If you haven't registered, we're going to put the link in the comments here. Register. It's going to be an amazing conference. I'm going to be emceeing. Also, our show is the day 1 end of day keynote. We got Glenn Lundy on. We got Matt Laska. We got Kerry Wise. We got some great people. We got Alex Flores on that show. We're going to be bringing some really good content. Listen, we did, and Digital Dealer piggybacked. We actually sent out a survey to 20 dealerships. We got permission from the owners of 20 dealerships that we work with to send an anonymous survey out to survey their salespeople on what, Mike? What do we survey them on?
What's working, what's not working, what salespeople are looking for in their leadership, things like that, so that we can break it down.
And then Digital Dealer said they were going to take that same survey, right?
And they're going to send it out.
All right, so then you guys are going to we're going to discuss that as one of the topics. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be incredible. Huge enrollment already. But if you're not part of that, then make sure you check it out by registering at the link that we're going to send. Let's put our link in there too and register right there. I think we have a discount code. If we do, just post that in there as well, and we'll get you guys registered under our lot. And
really quick before we leave, I just want to take a second. I don't know if he's still watching or not, but I hope he is. I actually have only bought 2 cars in my life, and the second time I bought was from David Moss Jr. and his dealership. And I have to say, their dealership compared to my first purchase was night and day difference. They do it right at his dealership.
You know what
100%.
you should do? You know what you should do? Even if he's not watching, Sam, if you, Mike, if you just get your phone or whatever, record that on video, we could post that in there on him, because you know what, he could use that as a testimonial too. Because Mike doesn't give testimonials out easy, but I do know that you purchased 2. In the first car you purchased,
it was a cliche car deal. They told me a price. They tried to bait and switch me at the end.
So I'm going to ask you this, Mike, while he's getting you. So you purchased 2 cars in your life, your young life, right?
Yep.
The first car from a typical dealership, right?
Yep.
And that was a typical experience.
Yes, sir, it was. And my wife's car needed to be changed, or we needed a new car for my wife. I text you. I wasn't working at the time, but you recommended me to his dealership. It was an hour and 15 minute drive. David Moss Jr.
So your second car purchase, and the only other one is from David Moss. And tell me about your experience.
So we drove all the way out. It was an hour and 15 minute drive. We drove out. We were greeted. The music, the atmosphere, everything was great when we walked in. The first thing they did, they over-serviced us. They were like, "Can we get you anything? Snacks, drinks, anything?"
Did David just throw you to somebody else, or did he come out and meet you himself?
I actually met him right out of the gate. He came, he shook my hand. He said, "I'm glad Dave sent you up here." We went around. We found a car. The salesperson took us right to one that I was happy with immediately. We did a test drive, came back. While we were doing the test drive, they did the mock-up on the trade-in, which, don't get me wrong, it was a 2003 Cavalier. There was not much value in that thing. But they gave us the most they could. And they never bait and switched us once. They cut us down. They cut our price down. They cut our financing down. Everything from start to finish. It was by far one of the best buying experiences I've ever had in my life.
There you go. Hey, and it's all, folks. Here's the deal, and that thank you, Mike, and that's David Moss, and that's the Moss Group. And you know what? Same thing with Justin and the Boniface Group. Same thing with Al Patron. Son. And listen, the difference is we're not getting anything from this. Look, Justin and I are friends. Al Patron and I are friends. We've done a little business together in the past. I do some business with David Moss. That's not what this is about. I'm going to tell you though, you're listening right now, car business. There's a difference in people that take the time to come on a show like this and pour into you. The reason they do it, they care. They're experiencing success, and so there's a reason. It's not by coincidence. And I'm going to tell you something. You can go the extra mile. You can go above and beyond and implement the things that are talked about by people that are succeeding on this show and others like it, and you'll stand out from everyone else on Dealer Row, right? And Dealer Row just got bigger because the reality is not only are we reaching out from different parts of the the area, but listen, you're no longer, if you're in Brandon where we are, you're no longer just competing with the 10 dealerships on Brandon Boulevard. You're competing because of the internet with everybody in the Tampa Bay area. So there could be 65, 70 dealerships you're competing with, and social media and the internet make it easier, and somebody has no problem driving 20 minutes out of their way. And so, these are best practices that are separate you from the competition, right? Hey, great show. Thank you to David Moss Jr., Justin Jarrett, Al Patron. Thank you, Mike, Ezra, Samuel. You guys rock. Hey, listen, we'll see you guys next week.
We out.